Hello friends, last week Ministry of Statistics released the GDP estimate for the first quarter of financial year 2022-23 and the growth rate is around 13.5% this first quarter comparing to 20.1% last year. So the growth is due to low base, it is higher now, but it is lesser than last year. However, the RBI forecasted growth will be around 16.2%, but it is lesser than that. The growth rate is only 13.5%, and the manufacturing sector showed a growth of only 4.8%, very less. And government final consumption expenditure has come down from 12.6% of the total GDP last year, it is a share of GDP, to 11.2% this quarter, first quarter of this year. And the private final consumption expenditure has increased from 50.4% last year to 59.9% this year. Imports has increased from 25.7% last year to 31% this year. This is not a good news. Around 300 branches of public sector banks will be opened in various states by December 2022. So the highest will be in Rajasthan, around 95 branches is going to be opened, followed by Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh. Former RBI Governor Subbarao suggests to privatize all public sector banks within 10 years. He said that for pursuing social objective, the government should look for other instruments rather than continuing to depend on public sector banks. But he did not explain what are the other instruments the government has to pursue. But when talking about growth, he also says that the benefits of growth has to go to the lower segment of the population. This is contradictory to what he suggested. He asked all public sector banks to be privatized. At the same time, he also asked the benefits of growth has to go to the lower section of the people. Chairman of Maruti Suzuki, R.C. Bhargava, recently given a condemnable statement. He said that the public sector enterprises are exploiting government resources. It is the private sector companies who are exploiting the resources of the country to the maximum. But he says just the opposite. Indian public sector enterprise Petronet is going to invest 40,000 crore in the next 5 years. India's external debt has increased by 8% in financial year 2022 to $620.7 US. The S&P Purchasing Manufacturers Index for service sector has increased from 55.5 in July to 57.2 in August. For manufacturing, in July it was 56.4, in August it is 56.2. Government is going to constitute a 47-member panel for drafting National Cooperation Policy document. In August, India's export contracted by 1.15% and imports increased by 37%. So the trade deficit is still higher, it is $28.68 billion. Our finance minister recently given an order that every scheme in which the center has a share should be named after the center, and every published distribution center should have the photo of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So every single rupee they invest, the central government invest, they wanted to advertise it for the benefit of the BJP party. It is a part of the political propaganda. Our finance minister and commerce secretary and report by SBI all says that India is going to be a developed nation by 2047. And Commerce Secretary says India will become the second largest economy. And the SBI report says India is going to be the third largest economy. India has become the fifth largest economy in the world, putting behind the UK. But when you look at the per capita income level, it is still way behind many economies. India's per capita income is $12,556. But United Kingdom's per capita income is $47,334. Per capita income is not a sole good economic indicator for measuring the growth of a country. Ideally, we had to see the per capita income of the bottom 10% of the 10 percentile 10% of the people. That only shows the growth or economic progress of the country. Demand for the Manreka employment is, fell to 34-month lowest in August. It has employed only 19.2 million persons in August. One of the reasons for this low demand is because of the inadequate allocation for the scheme. So the people stop looking for it. It could be the reason. According to Niti Aayog report, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat been ranked as the top of 3 states in terms of implementation of the Poshan Abhiyan scheme. Sikkim was the best performer among small states. According to local circles and community social media platform, 33% of Indian households cut down milk consumption because of the price rise in milk products. Center has now announced that the GST officers can now launch prosecution against offenders in case where the amount of evasion or misuse of input tax credit is higher than 5 crores. Center has approved so far 34,000 interest-free 50-year capex loans to 13 states. Finance Ministry extended the concessional customs duty on edible oil imports by another 6 months till March 2023. India's unemployment in August is highest in 12 months. It has increased to India's unemployment is highest in August in 12 months. India's unemployment in August is rise to 8.28%, highest in 12 months. In rural unemployment is 7.68%, and urban areas it is 9.57%. GST collection for the month of August increased by 28% to 1.43 lakh crores. According to CAG report, the total receipts of the central government up to July is 34.4% of the budget estimate, and capital expenditure is 27.8%. Expenditure for food subsidy is 31% lower than last year. Last year it was 38%, and for petroleum subsidy only 2% is spent. Last year it was 9%. For nutrient-based fertilizer subsidy only 28% was spent. Last year it was 43%. For urea subsidy 53% is spent, which is higher than last year. Last year it was 30%. So total allocation for the major subsidies is 35%. Total allocation for major subsidies is 35% up to July this year. It was 36% last year. I see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.